guys, this is the season finale of Beverly Hills, which was amazing. It was totally insane. Well, the reunion looks totally insane, and yeah, it was just amazing. So I'm gonna get straight into it. I thought I'd wear my Beverly Hills t-shirt because they live in Beverly Hills, and the party was for Beverly Hills because it's 100 years old. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. Pretty much, it was a recap of the season at the start, like they always do. Which, yeah, just time filler, I guess. Then everyone arrives at the Beverly Hills party. You know, I thought it was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, but it wasn't. It was at the Hilton Hotel. So, I mean, yeah, it was a party. It was a good party, I guess. And it did seem a little produced. I hate saying stuff like that because, to me, I don't like ruining it when people say, oh, it's scripted, and some of the stuff probably is, but I don't like saying that because I feel like it ruins it. It ruins the show for me. I know when people say that because then I start questioning everything. But I don't know. I just feel like the way it was shot, the way like they had like the long shots and like the panning shots, and like the high shots as well. Like it was just the way it was just done. Because I mean, I'm studying film and TV for uni, so I knew like all their shots and stuff. It was like they must have had cameras set up there. Like they weren't just it was just weird. Like it was good. Like it wasn't like the people or like any of the girls who seemed fake. It was just the way they shot it just seemed very like produced. But it was still a really good episode. I think it was just like that because they knew they were going to have a party at the end of the season, so they were just going to they just set everything up there probably like the night before, and I mean not the night before, during the day, and yeah, so yeah, but it was a weird episode because it was just everyone was like talking to everyone and went back and forth, but it was still amazing. The end of it was so good. Anyway, yeah, so they all hop out of their cars and they all have like Porsches and Bentleys and shit like that, which made me sad, but you know. Anyway, Yolanda tells Carlton that she's pretty much going to talk to Lisa tonight, and she, doesn't think she was being a true friend to Yolanda. So she pretty much says that, and by then all the ladies had arrived. Joyce and Kim came together, and everyone else came. And Lisa was coming in the limo saying, she's scared, or what she said about tonight, she doesn't want to go. And, she knows that she's going to get, into a lot of drama, and the girls hate her, and, it's going to come up. There's no way she's going to go to the party and everything's going to be okay. The one thing I hate, though, is they all act like everything is okay when they first meet each other. Like, if I have a problem with someone, yeah, I'll say hello, but I'm not going to pretend, and I'm not going to ask you questions because I can't pretend that, I'm nice to you. That's the one thing I hate about it. Like, they all seem like everything's okay when they first meet, and they all like kiss and like, how are you and stuff. But maybe that's just the nice thing to do. Anyway, then Yolanda and Lisa talk about Puerto Rico and why she left, and she said you could have been dead on the side of the road. She says that in a confessional, and she says like you shouldn't have just left. And Lisa was saying it was just an impossible place and possible position to be in. But I mean, Lisa should have just stayed. It wasn't too long ago when she was at Yolanda's daughter's graduation or going college party or whatever, where she was telling Carlton, you have to get to the bottom of the problem now. You have to do it. You have to confront it now. So why is she telling Carlton that, and then she can't do it in Puerto Rico? She can't stand up for herself and get to the bottom of the problems. It's just, it's just weird. But yeah, I do feel bad for Lisa, and I do like Lisa, but I mean, there's a lot of shady things she's done, and I believe she did put the magazine in Lisa's... Actually, I don't believe she put it in the thing, but I do believe the first time she joked and said, put it in there, because that is her personality. And we did see her, and I wouldn't have believed it if at the start of the season she wasn't talking shit about Kyle, and she proved it when she said about to Yolanda, sell your house and you guys will become best friends. So obviously she was pissed off with her, and she was talking shit about her. And it sounds like something she would do as a joke, like she would grab it and be like, "I'll put it in," and have that laugh. But who knows? That's just my opinion. Anyway, then they had the picture of Ken and Lisa at the other resort, which I thought was pretty shocking. I don't understand why you would stay. Like, you know, just go home. Like, if you know, I don't understand why you would just move resorts. Unless they were waiting for flights and they had to, like, it was only a day, or like they couldn't get a flight until the next day. But I mean, come on, like, you can stay in that resort, and like you don't. It was just stupid. Anyway, Lisa and Joyce are like BFFs now. They seem to be really good friends, and we know they're friends outside of the show now. And Joyce just says with Puerto Rico, she wished she stayed and she didn't want her to feel ganged up on, pretty much. And yeah, they're all friends, and pretty much Joyce is the new Brandy. Like Brandy was the new Kyle, and I bet you in like next season, Lisa will have another best friend. Like, she goes through all different best friends. So yeah. Anyway, then what happened next? Joyce and Kyle kind of pretty much have drinks with Mauricio and Ken, and there wasn't too much about it. And then Carlton and Brandy get into it was kind of an argument. Carlton said that she didn't see the magazine and she wasn't a puppet of Lisa, and Brandy was saying she was. And I don't know, I think Carlton might be a puppet of Lisa. I mean, I just don't fucking like her, so it didn't really bother me. But yeah, and I do believe when Brandy did say, she said that after no one was friends with her, she went back and the first person she saw was Carlton because she needed someone on her side. I believe that because, we saw that it was the first person she saw when she came back. But Lisa wants someone on her team because everyone, hated her in Puerto Rico except Joyce, but Joyce was there. So she needed someone on her side. But, I mean, they kind of got into a bit of an argument. It was just such a weird episode because, like, 1 second someone was talking to another person, then they were talking to other people, so you couldn't take your eyes off it because it would just keep changing, and there were so many people everywhere. And yeah. Anyway, then Lisa pulls Kyle away. I thought that was really rude. They're having a conversation, she just pulls her away without saying anything. Anyway, she just pretty much tells her, I didn't do anything, don't listen to Brandy and Yolanda. Actually, no, she did say, believe who you want, but I didn't do it. And, I pretty much can't do this anymore. We got to move on, is pretty much what she said. So, it just seemed awkward because I do believe those two were friends. Like season 1, those two were really close. And if it wasn't for the reality show, they would still be friends. Because, I mean, a lot of people still would be friends because of the reality show, because of what people say in their confessionals. So, it's pretty good. But yeah, so they pretty much have that conversation. I don't think there was too much in there. It's just pretty much, they just have the same argument like every season. It was like pretty much the same thing they talked about when they were on the Eiffel Tower last season. So yeah, then Kim and Brandy are kind of best friends, which I like, but I don't like Brandy, so that pisses me off. Yeah, so there wasn't. Yeah, it was a good episode, but it was just so confusing going back and forth. Then yeah. Anyway, they have some guy, the ambassador or someone like that of the chambers of whatever it's called for Beverly Hills. He does a little speech, and yeah. Then Kim and Yolanda pretty much bond over their kids going to college and stuff like that. And then you kind of think, okay, well, now it's getting a little boring because, you just want to get to like the bit with Brandy and Lisa, and then it got really good again. So yeah, then Brandy and Lisa, Brandy brings Lisa aside. They go into like a little tent thing. I don't even know what it was called. Anyway, they sit down and they talk about, what happened. And you know what? I have to agree with Brandy. I'm sorry, I'm on Team Brandy on this one. Even though I hate her, she was completely in the right. Not because with Sheena. I believe she's right with Sheena. She says she doesn't like her talking to Sheena and being around Sheena, which I believe is true, you know. And she says and then Lisa says, she gets it, like she understands that she doesn't like Sheena. And then Brandy says, you already got that, like you already knew, like why are you doing this? And I understand, you know, Brandy getting upset because she doesn't want to see a mistress at every party. Lisa should know better than that. If they were really truly friends, then, you know, Lisa should know. I do think Lisa does care. I think Lisa has been definitely a much better friend to Brandy than Brandy has to her. But I do feel bad for Brandy because she doesn't deserve that. And Lisa hasn't been through divorce, and a lot of women who haven't been through divorce, I know that with my mum, she's been through divorce, and you know, other women that just don't get it who haven't been through divorce. They don't understand how hard it is. They might try to, but they just don't understand it. There's nothing wrong with that, but they just don't understand it. So, yeah, pretty much. And they cut the bit out where she says, you know, you're the best chess player of all time or the biggest chess player of all time. I'm like, why would the editors and producers cut that out? I don't understand. Like, why? I hate when that happens, when they show that in the trailer and then they fucking cut something out. It's like, what's the point of that? I was excited for that scene, but you just cut it out. I mean, obviously they had enough time. Like, it wasn't like a time thing because they could have just cut a little bit of the reunion out. I don't get why they didn't put that in, but maybe they just thought, oh yeah, I don't get it. That was confusing to me. But yeah, so they pretty much just talk about Sheena, and you know, and Lisa was digging herself into a hole. Lisa was saying, you know, like I don't see her as a whore and stuff like that. Who cares? You're her friend. You should see her as a whore. And like, Brandy's your friend, so therefore you should not like Sheena. Like, I'm on Team Brandy for that one, and she just didn't seem very considerate of her feelings. Like, you know, it was just, you know, and then she says with her staff, like, oh, I'm not friends with her. If she was my friend, she wouldn't be washing dishes. I was like, really? But she had her engagement at your fucking house. Obviously, you have some kind of, like, connection. Like, it's just frustrating. But anyway, like, with Yolanda and Lisa, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why Yolanda's so mad with Lisa just because she didn't show up for a party. You know, like, get over it, really. But, yeah, oh, and then I almost forgot. Kim goes over, well, Ken's walking past, and Kim, you know, pulls him aside and says, you know, I'm really sorry for calling you a grumpy old man. The way she said it was just funny because she had, like, a little smile. But, yeah, and then he kind of walks away. I thought that was really rude because, one, I don't think Kim needed to apologise for anything, for one thing she said to Ken, because Ken and Lisa have belittled her since the beginning of this series. You know, they've always seen her as, you know, kind of like a little child, and they've treated her like crap. And they did in Puerto Rico. Like, Ken was like, move aside. Like, she deserved to get angry. I don't think she needed to apologise. It was a nice thing to do to apologise, but I don't think she needed to apologise at all. I thought, if I was in her position and someone kept belittling me, then I got angry at him, I wouldn't apologise because they deserved it. He did deserve it. And Ken's just such a douche. I'm sorry, but he's a douche. Like, the way he treats women, it's disgusting. Like, you know, when you have girlfriends and stuff, yes, of course you stand up for them. Of course I've standed up for my ex-girlfriends, you know, when I was going out with them. But the way you stand up for them is different than, you just don't get that angry. Like, he just is fucking crazy. Anyway, and then Mauricio and Ken start talking about their, like, the magazine, and he said it's not true, and they kind of patch things up, and he's like, okay. See, that's how, like, normal people, some guys make up. It doesn't take that long. You just say what each other says, and then you get over it. But, I mean, with girls, it's completely different. So, yeah, then, you know, Lisa goes over and Yolanda, and then Yolanda's like, why are you so rude, or however her accent is. But, yeah, so they're getting angry, then Mauricio and Kyle walk away again, then they go to another table, and then they all follow them to another table. It was very confusing when you have to, like, follow everyone. And then, Brandy and Lisa were like talking about the magazine, saying you knew about the magazine. But the thing also is, if she didn't know about the magazine, she would just say, no, I didn't know. She keeps saying, no, I don't remember it. Oh, I'm confused. Like, just say, no, I fucking didn't see it. Stop talking about it. You know, she's just, it comes across that she's lying. It could be an editing thing, but it comes across as she's lying about the Puerto Rico thing. But then, if she did say it, don't you think that would have footage of her doing it? That's what I don't get. If she was actually doing it, unless the cameras weren't around then, it could be a possibility that the cameras weren't around. But, and I believe if Lisa was going to do something like that, she would do it when the cameras weren't around, because she doesn't want to look bad. And, you know, and I do believe, even if that was the worst thing she's done, like, she's not the evilest person in the world. Like, I mean, they have all done stuff. You know, Brandy's a horrible person, but, you know, everyone's done something. Everyone in this group has gotten into an argument of they've done something that isn't that nice or good. So, I mean, you know, and even Kyle says, you know what, if you've done it, people make mistakes, and I get it. I do get it. And, you know, we can move on from it. And I understand, like, I don't think it's the fact that she's evil for doing it, but she just won't admit it. And, you know, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe at the reunion she'll admit it, maybe not. But yeah. Anyway, so Lisa just continues saying she didn't know about the magazine in like a guilty way. She's just like, oh no, I didn't know. Anyway, then Ken comes over when all the girls, oh sorry, yeah. And then they all walk away and all the girls are talking. Then Ken comes over and he gets angry at them. Well, gets angry at Yolanda, and he's like, why are you so stupid again? And, yeah, and then Yolanda is really pissed off, and it's like, Ken, don't treat women like that, and David would never get involved. And the truth is, I don't think David would ever get involved, because even when he was arguing with Kyle, when she was arguing with Kyle and stuff, he never did get involved. And I feel like Mauricio and Ken are like the 8th and 9th housewife of this season. But, I don't think David would get involved. I can't see him getting... I can see him defending his wife, but I can't see him doing it the way Ken does it. That's how a man should stand up for his wife, not like Ken. Sorry, but you know, I do think Ken's nice to stand up for Lisa, but the way he does it is terrible. Like, he's just not very good at it. And then yeah, pretty much Ken is, you know, getting closer to Yolanda, and you know, and then Yolanda has like a bit to say. She's like, my husband wouldn't want to hang out with someone like you who like treats women like crap. Anyway, then he reaches out and touches Yolanda, and then Yolanda's like, don't touch me, and then like knocks him away. Then she like gets really angry, and they have to like hold her back, and she's like, I'm an intelligent person, don't treat women like that. And she gets like really angry. Then Ken and Lisa walk away, and everyone's getting angry. I was like, oh my god, like, Jesus fuck, like, it was really like intense. Like, it just got, even though like they weren't yelling at each other, but just seeing like Yolanda like get that mad, like we haven't seen her get super mad. So obviously she's fucking pissed off. And yeah, it was just really intense. And Kyle was chasing after Lisa, and she's like, "Don't go!" And yeah, and then they were just talking about Lisa and stuff, and then yeah, then they kind of leave, and then the season finishes, and then they start having their little, you know, the thing comes up and they tell them where they've been at. And one other thing is Yolanda last season, I feel like she's done it each season to make sure she'll be in the next season. She's always gotten really like aggressive in the last episode. Like she doesn't, you know, she has brought the drama kind of like, she talks about people, but she doesn't get angry until like the last 2 episodes. Like last season, she got angry at Lisa's party. She got at the wedding anniversary. Like she was stirring all that shit up between Faye and what was her name, Maurice, or what the fuck was her name? That chick that was married to that famous producer, whatever. Can't remember her name. Yeah, never mind. But yeah, and anyway, between her, Brandy, and the chick who was only like part time, and they were all getting angry at each other about like the hall pass and shit like that. Like she stirred up all that shit, and she made that fight between Faye and Brandy get even worse. and shit like that. So I mean, she's done it every season, and it's like to make sure she can be on the next season. But I do feel like this time she actually was legitimately angry with Ken. Fair enough, but you know, she's kind of done it every time. Then anyway, pretty much Yolanda is selling a house. Because I just kind of recap on what the ladies have been up to. So yeah, Yolanda is selling her house. You know, we already knew that. You know, for 27 million. Then Carlton gave the skull back to um, Kyle, and then Joyce. I mean, Kyle gave it to Joyce. Then Joyce disappeared or something like that. And that's sad. I feel bad for Carlton because the only fucking important thing that's happened in their life in the last 6 months was the freaking crystal skull or whatever it was called. I found that funny that the only thing that was worth mentioning was the skull because she was just that boring. And hopefully, well, actually, you know what? She will not be back next season, 110%. There's one person I can guarantee that won't be back. She won't be back. As a producer, you're not going to want to bring her back. She's the most hated and she's the most boringest. Sorry, but you know, only they did a poll and only 1% liked her. So, and there was like 3,000 votes or something. Then, anyway, Joyce, you know, is crowning the second Miss Universe or whatever, and shit like that. Then Kim is training. Well, she said about her daughter going away to college, and Kingsley is still naughty and he's not very, you know, trained. Then Lisa, oh sorry, Lisa only. Oh yeah, sorry. And then they had like kind of like a break in between, and you know, Kim was saying that Lisa only loves her family, like she loves Jiggy, she loves Pandora, but she doesn't love anyone else. And I can understand how that comes across because she's kind of, you know, says shit about everyone else apart from her family. So I don't know if that's true, but you know, I think next season Lisa will be alright because apparently she's got a contract for 2 years. That's what I've read in some places, that she has to come back next season because she has a contract for 2 years. Like that was the same as. Sorry, that was just my phone. But anyway, yeah, like even with the Real Housewives of Melbourne, they've got a contract for 3 seasons, so they have to stay if it's. I think it's kind of successful. I mean, the ratings are alright, but for the next 3 seasons, they have the same cast unless they get fired. So, I mean, I think that's, you know, so it's not unheard of. So, Lisa will definitely be back next season, which will be good. Because I do like her, and she is, you know, the heart of the show, and she is great, but she's did some shitty things this season. But they all have, so, you know. So then Kyle has Sophie's bar mitzvah, and then Portia wants to become a child star. Like, I just remember back in like season 1 when they actually had, like, I don't really care about their kids and stuff. I just want to know about like their lives. Like, you know, in season 1 there was so much more with the Empik. You know, it was kind of like Lisa and what was his name? Cedric had an explosive fight, or it was actually like relevant to their lives. It wasn't like she gave the skull back. It didn't really have anything to do with the show, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't anything that happened. Then Lisa is opening her new restaurant, Pump. Like, see, like when the Lisa's one, like it was kind of like, oh, okay, cool, that's awesome. Yeah, and then Brandy, you know, had her book was a bestseller, and she's moving house, and good for her, I guess. I thought she'd just moved. For someone who keeps claiming she's so fucking poor, why do you keep moving all the time? But no, she's just fucking crazy. Sorry for my swearing. I really don't like Brandy, and you know, I don't know. I don't think it's hard because everyone hates her. She is bringing the ratings down, but I think the producers think that she brings all the drama. But they can find someone who can bring the drama. Like, there's like billions of Brandys in the world. It's not going to be impossible. Like, they should find someone who's like Brandy, but who actually is really rich, instead of being a hobo. No offense, Brandy, but I'm sorry, but it's called Beverly Hills. We want to go into their lives and see, you know, like $25 million houses and stuff like that. And, you know, we want to see really nice houses, and Brandy doesn't have that. I mean, Kim kind of doesn't have that. But I mean, Kim still still has money, but Brandy doesn't. So I don't really want to see that. Like, it's great, but I don't want to see that next season. I want to see Camille, or like I want to see someone with a big house. So yeah. Anyway, then it goes like 6 months later, and they're all getting ready for their reunion, and holy fuck, it looks so intense. I was like getting goosebumps when they were all like getting on there, and they're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, they're setting this up for like the biggest reunion ever. Like, I've never seen on any of the seasons they've done that. On the last episode, that gotten them all ready. And then the previews for it, holy shit, it looked amazing. I think it's going to be massive. I mean, the one thing I was looking forward to this whole season was the reunion, and it has not disappointed me so far in the trailer. It looks amazing. I think it's going to be, epic. 3 parts. We haven't had 3 parts since season 2, so I think it's going to be amazing, because there's been so much drama that's happened since the show wrapped between all the ladies that it doesn't surprise me that it was 3 parts, because they didn't record for 12 hours, they recorded for 13. So, I mean, they recorded for a very long time, and it is a long time to sit there on the couch and talk to someone if you think about it. Like, 13 hours is a long time. I mean, obviously they have like little breaks, but that's, like half the day. Well, it is half the day, but it's a long time to sit there and talk about someone. Like, your mind would kind of just get, I don't know how they would do it. It would be very scary, but I can't wait, for the end of the episode, for the end of for the reunion. It's going to be amazing. And this episode was amazing. Like, it was a really good episode. The end of it was so intense. It was an episode I was looking for. Like, for me, I got what I wanted out of it. Like, it was a good episode, and I liked it. Like, it lived up to what I was expecting. So that was good for me. I'd like to know what you guys think. Did you guys like it? Are you excited for the reunion? I don't know if anyone could not be excited for the reunion, because it just looks amazing. Because, I mean, the season has been very quiet, and that's what I mean. Like, I mean, obviously they set stuff up, but if it was so produced and so scripted, don't you think they would be having like throwing water at each other, and they would be having a fight nearly every episode? Like, if it was that scripted and stuff, they would be having fights every episode, and they don't. Like, I mean, the season was very boring. I do think they do set up situations, but I don't think it's scripted as other reality shows. Like, I don't think they feed them what to say, or I think they just let them, they just do their own little thing. Like, they just say, go out there. If you get angry at someone, you get angry at someone. And of course, like on the confessionals and stuff, they'll be telling them like, oh yeah, Joyce she's so rude to you, Brandy, or they would be doing it, to Joyce, like, Brandy's such a whore and stuff like that. They would be saying that to piss them off even more, so they could get into arguments. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I can't wait for it, even though, like, whenever it starts, maybe next November. It's so confusing because you never know when it's going to start, because it's not like other shows where they usually start in September and finish in May. Like, it changes all the time. So it was, yeah, I can't wait for the reunion, and I can't wait for next season. I'm just so excited for it. I do think they're going to change a lot of the cast. I think they're going to make sure they bring the drama. They're going to tell them, you have to bring more of the drama this time, more fights. I mean, I think they will. And hopefully Shiva's, there. I've already got like an image of my head, like Shiva chucking water at someone and getting like taken away. I don't even know, but she probably... One thing about Shiva, I hope she is a housewife, but apparently she's the nicest person and she's really classy. Well, I don't want someone who's fucking classy. I want someone who is... I do want someone who's classy, but I want someone to get in fights and bring drama. I don't want someone like Yolanda who doesn't do anything until like the last episode. So, I mean, hopefully if Shiva does come in, hopefully she does bring a little drama, even though she is super hot, like Joyce. I hope I hope it's good. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know Kyle and Lisa will be back, which means Kim will be back. I know 100% if Kyle comes back, which is pretty likely, that Kim will come back. even if Kim is not a housewife, she's going to have a recurring role. Sorry, so she will be back no matter what. Um, and yeah, so they're the three I can pretty much guarantee will be back. I think hopefully Brandy doesn't come back. Let's just fire the rest of them apart from Joyce. I mean, Joyce can stay, but I know many people don't like Joyce, but I like Joyce anyway. Um, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much all for this episode. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the reunions. If I'm going to do it part 1 and part 2 together, or like if I'm going to do it all separate. I think I'll do the first one separate, and then do 2 and 3 together. I'll see how much drama it has in it, but I can't wait. Hope you guys like my review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd like to hear your opinion, and thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.